Hi guys, Jason from JVA Carpi Adventures, and this week for the first part you're going to join me at home where I'm going to be giving you a quick overview of the product I'm reviewing this week, which is Trakker's Impact Zig Float Kit, guys. Now, I'll be totally honest, I had this in summer. In fact, I had a couple of them in summer. But I didn't actually get to any locations where it would warrant using it, so I've kept it on hold. But this weekend I am going to linear fisheries, and I think getting the zigs out would be worthwhile. So I've seen quite a lot of YouTube clips on them, really interested by them. I'm really keen to give it a go. But let's start just by showing you what you get in the packet and then how to set it up on your rod. I like to prep before I get to wherever I'm going, linear this week. So I want to get one of these on my rod. So whilst I learn what to do, I thought I'd show you guys what to do. So let's get into it, guys. But for now, let's roll an intro. Okay guys, so first off I'm just going to open the packet, and I'm actually doing it around the camera, so forgive me if it seems a little bit awkward. So let's just open this packet up. So essentially you get the float, put it down there. You're going to get a boom section, which is this here. You're going to get a swivel, which I'm told is quite important, guys. Don't know if you can see that, but I'll show you it in detail later. And then two different coloured caps to go with the one that's already on there. So I'll show you loosely how it goes, and that is your boom always goes onto your line first. Your boom always goes onto the line first, and this actually slots into here basically. Don't know if you can see that, guys, sorry. So I'm going to get a lead on that, and they recommend you use a dumpy or heli lead, so that's worth knowing. Obviously initially in the clever bit is going to be the float. So there's a few things about this. They've given you some different coloured caps. You've got the yellow, you've got the black, you've got the green that's on there. When you're putting them together, you are going to have to, there's sort of a nylly bit on this that helps you grip it. You are going to have to undo it, and it is quite firm, guys, and then that cap comes off. So we'll put that back on for now. But the main part of how this works is all to do with this boom section you've got, guys. Hopefully it will come out a little bit better, which actually slots into the side of this. So you'd have your lead here, and your line would go through the bit at the top. And then when it hits the water, it's actually going to be hitting the water that way. The float is going to pop up, the lead's going to pop down, and that's essentially how it works as an adjustable zig. So there's a few other components. You get the float, the boom, the two end caps, which I have shown you. You get a spinner swivel, and you get a little plug that goes into the top of that, guys. So that just literally goes into there like that. Hopefully you can see that in there. So I'm going to show you how to assemble this, guys, because I need to put it on my rod, and then I'll talk you about the tactics I'm using for it, and then the second half of this will be on the bank, and I'll show you how I actually use it, and fingers crossed how I catch with it. So let's get on to setting it up on my rod. Okay guys, so before I start showing you how to attach it to the rod, I've just been feeling my line, and I can feel there's a few rough bits in it. A good few rough bits in it actually. So, word of warning there guys, always worthwhile checking your line. I'm going to cut that bit off as I can't trust it. I can feel little kinks in the line, doesn't give me confidence. So let's get myself a load more line. Again, run your fingers over it, check it, and that's much better. Okay, so the first part guys is going to be, take that boom section, hopefully you can see that there guys, and attach your lead. There is a quick change at the bottom, so that's just what I'm going to do. So, dumpy lead, which is what they've recommended, a heli lead or a dumpy lead, and that's the first thing you put on your line guys. So as you would with any other adjustable zigs, put that on first. It's got a swivel at it, and led to believe that really helps with the anti-tangle stuff. Sorry guys, I should be doing this with my glasses on if I'm honest. I do need them. So that is on the main line now. So there you go guys. That's the first part. Second part is going to be threading it through the float. So take the cap off, and as I said, it is a bit tight initially. So take the cap off, and then you are going to, in fact guys, I'm going to stop, I'm going to go get my glasses because I'm no good without them. Alright guys, well I'm sure you're laughing now, but I do need my glasses. So now I can actually see the line and see what I'm doing. It will make it easier for me. Let me just get this a little bit untangled. Alright guys, so just to recap, all I've done now, or up to now, is just put the lead on. So, next part is threading it through the float. So now I can actually see what I'm doing, it does help. So just thread it through the bottom of the float, which I can actually see now I've actually got my glasses on. Does make a bit of a difference for me guys. Right guys, might be a bit thin for you to see that, but now I've just threaded it through the bottom part of the float. Hold it against my black, that might help a little bit. So there you go guys. So that's just threaded through bottom to the top. Next you're going to thread it through whatever coloured cap you want to use. I'm just going to stick with the original. Not that you really have to thread this through actually guys, because it can just slip straight on actually. So yeah, not really a lot of threading on that. So put that on there. Now to give you this little rubber bung, so you want to thread it through that. So that now has the bung on, which will go into that end cap that we just put on. If you can see that guys, hopefully it'll focus a bit, there you go. So that'll go in there. Then the next part is this. So you've got your float now, so we can let go of that. Is your ring, goes to your ring swivel. So whatever your favourite knot would be, make sure you tie that off. If you're not sure guys, by the way, on this ring swivel there is a big ring that I'm holding it by and a smaller ring. You're going to tie your line to that smaller ring guys, okay? So I'm just going to do that with a Palomar knot. That's my favourite knot that I've got the most faith in, so let me just do that. Again, if I wasn't wearing my glasses guys, this would be impossible for me. I just wouldn't be able to see it. Also it doesn't help when you don't have great light either, so sometimes doing stuff like this is slightly better on the bank. But I prefer to have all my stuff prepped at home before I get to the bank guys, to be fair. I'd rather not be doing this on the bank when all I want to do when I get there is fish basically. So put that through, put that over, a little bit of a pull. Then with all knots guys, obviously make sure you wet it, give it a really good pull, bed it in nicely. I do normally do this with gloves guys actually. If I'm bedding in knots I like to do it with gloves, but on this occasion I'm just going to pull it with my hands, give it a really good pull. on there, guys. Hopefully you can see that, and then I'm just going to cut off this tag end. That's the tag end cut off, guys. Now I can bring it up to show you, and I've got the swivel there. Hopefully you can see you've got the swivel there, and that will obviously go into the float, and it will just leave you the larger ring there, which you'll be able to attach your zig to. So essentially, let's bring it all up and in view. How you're going to do it is basically just put this through this, through here, like that, guys, and that's it. Your zig would be attached at the bottom, which I will probably end up putting a 3-foot zig on there. I know from what Trakker have said that when this pops out on the bottom, that the distance from there to there, if you like, is 6 inches. So if I've got a 3.5 foot zig, then I know I'm going to be at 4 foot basically. So let's tell you a few other things about this, guys, that makes it different than the rest. I'm going to sit down now, so let me just change position. Alright guys, I'm going to leave my glasses on. Just means I'm going to be able to see it much better for you. So the reason I'm really keen to try this, guys, is if you look at it, you'll notice it's got a few holes on it. So there's holes there, there, one at the top. Now, there's a very good reason for these. This has a 3 milliliter receptacle in there that you could add liquids to that will disperse when you pull it under, basically. So my whole sort of game plan on this is to use, let's just show you, put that down for a second, guys, sorry. So a while back I bought those liquid zigs, and they're little zig rigs that you can fill up with this liquid. So I've got a oily shrimp one here and a milky amino. So I'm going to be using a syringe and a needle, injecting them into this weekend. So the point here is there's 2 holes on the side. Let me put the syringe down before I stab myself. So you've got 2 holes on either side. You plug them with foam, guys. So I might just show you what I mean now, actually, because I've got some foam here. Alright guys, so what you're going to do, you're going to get your float and both the side holes, just lick it, stick that on and literally hold it for about 10 seconds. Okay, so you're just going to stick and hold your foam on. Give it a good time to get on there, guys. So now you've got both of the side holes filled. It means there's only one hole at the top, and that is essentially where you would fill with your liquid in the top, and then afterwards put another little bit of foam on there. You can just chop a little bit up, bung it in there, and then you would use that to attach your hook link to. I'm going to show you all this on the bank, guys, anyway, but I just thought I'd show you the initial setup. Obviously now I've got this rod ready. Now if I start picking up fish on this when I'm on the bank, obviously I'm going to change my other rod over and I'll be fishing zigs. But I'm definitely going to be giving this a really good go this weekend. They can stay on there until I'm ready to use it. So the second half of this review, guys, is going to be on the bank, and you'll actually see me using it. Really keen, I've got to be honest, I'm really keen. I think it's a really good, clever design, and fingers crossed it'll help get me some fish on the bank. Thanks for watching up to now, guys. Second half is going to be on the bank. Alright guys, so I am now on the bank at Linear. It's kind of time for part 2 of the Impact Zig float review. So as you can see, I have put a dumpy lead on. That is a 3.5 ounce. They do recommend a 4 ounce, guys, but I wanted to try that first. I don't need heavy leads to get out to where I'm going, so I've got that on there. I am going to prep that head for some liquids, because I am going to be putting liquid on there. So the first thing you need to do, guys, is grab a couple bits of foam and block off the 2 side holes. So they recommend you hold this on for about 10 seconds. You could probably just put 2 small ones actually, if I'm honest. I don't think you need a great full one. And we'll block off the other side hole. And I'm just going to hold them on for about 10 seconds, guys. And then that will leave you 1 remaining hole on the top. Just there, guys. Pretty hard to see on camera, but there's 1 remaining hole. Once you've done both side holes, 1 remaining hole on top that you will fill it with. So before I do that, I'm just going to actually put a 2.5 foot zig on there. And actually, whilst I've got it here, might as well obviously show you that the lead obviously just goes in like that, and then that's how it will attach. So now I want to attach the zig length. Not sure if you'll see that, guys, but there's a little ring sticking out there now after the initial setup. So my zig's going to go to that. So I'm going to put that on next. I have just gone for a black on black 2.5 foot. So let's put that on. I have got an anti-tangle sleeve on it, guys. I will show you. Just thread this on. Alright, guys, so that is the zig on there. I'll be honest, I'm not sure you actually need an anti-tangle sleeve with the way this works, but I've left it on there, and that's just going to a 2.5 foot. So now next thing I want to do is fill this. I am just going to fill it. I've got a syringe. I'm using the Liquid Zigs liquid, and I believe it holds about 3 ml, I believe. So let's do this. Never done it before. Let's see where it goes. Oh, okay, it just literally fills the top by the look of it, guys. I thought it might go all the way down into the bottom of the float, but it doesn't. It looks like it just fills that top. Okay, so that's got the liquid in there now, guys, just in the top. Get rid of that. And then what you want to do is get a small bit of foam and plug that hole. So I'm just going to get this in there, guys. Small bit of foam. Twiddle it. Get it in that hole. That's it. So that hole's blocked. Now, there's a dual purpose for that, guys. Which is then, you've got a tiny little bit of foam just to nick your hook through. I don't want to put it through massively, but just hook it through like that, guys. Hopefully you can see that. Now this is now ready to cast. Now I have actually clipped up. I'm going out 12 wraps towards the tree in front of me, guys, so I'm going to show you that going out. And the idea is, the minute it hits the water, the lead will eject from the float. The float you can then wind down to the bottom, and I know once that's released, that is going to be effectively by itself, without releasing any line, a 3 foot zig, because the boom, the float up to here is 6 inches, and then you've got a 2.5 foot zig on there, so this should be about 3 foot, guys. So I'm going to want to release it once I've tightened down to it and know I'm on the bottom. I want to release it 2 foot, so I want to be fishing about 5 foot, maybe 3 foot, 5 or 6 foot. I want to be fishing this, guys. So let's show you this being cast out, and fingers crossed it all works, and then what you do to get it to the just right length, or height I should say, get it to the right height. Okay guys, well as normal you will see me sinking the line here as you would normally, and then once I've got that line sunk and I'm happy with it, I'm obviously just going to bring it back to the rod pod, and then the important point is to wind down to the lead. Okay guys, so now I'm happy, I'm wound down to lead. I'm going to just let the clutch off and then feed out 1 foot at a time. I think I put out 3 foot on this one guys to make it effectively a 6 foot zig, and effectively that's it. Okay guys, so that went out simple enough, and all you would have seen is once it landed, tightened down to the lead, put it on the stand and then let out another few feet. So it's just, I've got a mark on there that I know where it's 1 foot up to where the alarm is. So that's now set at 6 foot, black zig with the adjustable impact zig float. That should be releasing liquid up into the water column, going upwards towards that zig. Fingers crossed I can get one. Morning guys, so I had the Trakker impact zig float kit out yesterday, set at 6 foot, and I didn't get anything, didn't get any liners either. So today I just thought I'd check that it is operating how I would expect it to. So to help me see it, I've put one of the high vis caps on, which I'll be honest is very easy to change over from whatever one you've got. I was on the clear yesterday, so I've gone to a bright yellow today. I'm just going to cast it out in front of me, pull down to the lead, and then hopefully release foot by foot and see the float pop up. That's what I'm looking for guys. Alright guys, I don't think you can actually see it on camera, but the float has popped up and it's looking like it's about 8 foot there. Well, probably 8.5 foot, because there's obviously 6 inches on the boom section as well. So clearly it is working as it's meant to. Don't see any reason why not. I'm actually going to leave that yellow float on today, and so I'm going to try it at 10 wraps today. I did 12 yesterday. I'm going to try it at 10 wraps, and probably the same sort of depth. Probably about 6, maybe even take it to 7 foot. Right guys, so after using it for the weekend, it's time to give you my thoughts on this, which is the Trakker, hopefully you can see that, Trakker Impact Zig Float Kit. So, first things I want to say guys is, when you've got the lead tethered, they do recommend that you go for a 4 ounce lead. Now I went for a 3.5 ounce heli lead, so it doesn't have the ring swivel on it, and it ejected every single time without any problems. I did a load of casting before I put the rig out just to see if it was coming back, ejected, and it did. So it does seem very likely that the minute this hits the water, you're going to get it eject out the bottom and the float's going to go to the top. With regards to the float, this morning I did a little bit of testing closer in, and I put the yellow cap on just to see when I was paying line off if the float was powerful enough to come up to the top without any problems, which it did. I didn't have, so a couple of observations as well. Now the caps you can fill with liquid, which I did, and it definitely seemed to come out of this one with what I filled in this morning. Yesterday's, I don't know whether it coated, because you can see it, I think it probably coated it, so I do think the liquid came out of the one yesterday as well. But one of the things they show you in the video is cover both the side holes and then put a foam sort of bit in there and then attach your hook link to it. I prefer not to do that because I put a couple of bits of foam in the water here yesterday afternoon, blue foam bits in the water, and they were still, well, although they had changed colour to white, the foam still hadn't melted today. So the fact of putting one in there and then putting your zig on it and it possibly still being there in a good amount of time, I'd rather not do that, not in the cold weather anyway. So I was casting it, once I realised that, I was casting it without tethering it to the float, and I didn't have any problems with tangles whatsoever, not a single one. Everything came back exactly how I wanted it to. So with regards to its effectiveness on does it do its job, sorry guys, I'd say 100% if you're a keen zig fisher. I think it's Ridge Monkey have got a new one out, but the benefit of this that I see is that you can fill this with liquids. Your zig's going to be sitting above it and those liquids are going to be rising up onto where you've got your zig. So I've got to say guys, even though it's only a quick review, I am impressed with this, and when I go to places that has a decent amount of depth to it, this is probably about 13.5 foot at a minute guys. It's normally about 11, but the water levels are way up, so I'm guessing it's about 13.5 foot. I had it at 6 foot, 7.5 foot, 8 foot. Didn't pick up anything on it, but that's not down to the float, that's down to me. So I do think it's a good product guys, and if you want to buy it, obviously it's going to come in a packet like that and you'll get all the bits you need. So thank you for watching guys, really do appreciate it. Please do me a favour, if you haven't subscribed to my channel and you like this sort of thing, please hit that subscribe button. If you've enjoyed watching this short review, give it the old thumbs up, and if you want to be notified of future posts, hit that bell icon. I post every single Friday guys about 6:30, and that's every week, and it'll normally be a review, a vlog or something like that. It doesn't cost you to subscribe guys, by the way, so please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Just leaves me to say, stay safe, stay fishing, and I'll see you in the next vlog.